All right, there we are. Some of y'all probably saw me looking over here. I was looking to see if we were live, and I think we are, but y'all know I always double check. And y'all see the special guests on the show. I'm not even gonna call them guests. They've been here before, especially Kenyon, but it's still table time. And tonight, as you can see, we have the lovely ladies joining us. Unfortunately, we couldn't get them all, but no worries. They'll be here. They'll be here. We'll do many more of these, but we definitely got, as you can see, Laneisha and Destiny is in the building. Sade, I believe, may come, and if she comes a little later, that's cool. If not, then we'll catch her on the next one as well. Who we're missing, like I said, is Debbie and Odessa. And I want to definitely extend the invitation, man, for the rest of the ladies in the chat that might pop up tonight. Come on through. Come on through. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have to pass you through the main ladies. Let them check y'all out. And then if they are cool, then y'all can come on. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and get into the show. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm going to be more of the moderator tonight, if you will. Let's say hello to the early commenters really quick. And then we're going to jump right into it. Sonny Roth Miller, I saw you earlier when I first posted the link. Yeah, that press conference was something. And we going to actually start with that. Lance and Shield, Jared Devil, Mr. Winningham, Rel Fax, my good brother Ron Simpson Gaming. Let me shout him out really quick, man. This brother follows me around on everything I do. And I don't say that negatively. He supports me with whatever I'm doing. He's an older gentleman. He's been in the hospital. He's recovering. I don't want to put all his business out there. Let him tell you that. But shout outs to him. He gave me a sizable donation. I gotta appreciate folks like that because he doesn't have to do it. So round of applause to Ron. I always want to highlight him because he's not a Steelers fan. He's a fan of me, and I appreciate that. Football Mind 02, Vista Light, Brent Fox, Luis D, The Real Deal, Jordan Mid, Y Diggy, what's up, brother? Ali Howard, and there goes Sade. She says she's on the way home. Well, once you get there, come on in. We're here. So all you got to do is hit the link. Tommy Lane, and I was about to say hi to Kenyon and Kenyon right here. Telling you, I'm like Ron Burgundy. I swear. If it's on the teleprompter, I'm gonna read it.
I don't even know why you say hi to me because we talk on text message like all day. It just makes no sense. I ask myself, why is he doing that? We just carrying the conversation over. I don't know why you do that.
It's a habit, man.
All good.
But all right, guys, we're gonna get into it, and let me actually let y'all know what we are talking about. So let me get my notes here, and all credit goes out to the ladies. They came up with this. I'm telling you, they're so professional, man. I swear. They probably think I'm pulling their leg when I tell them how much I appreciate them, but you should have seen the beautiful crafted email by Debbie. And these are their topics. We're going to talk about midseason grades, offensively, defensively, special teams, and coaches. The remainder of the season as far as what we predict. If you were Kevin Colbert, looking at today's team, what's the one thing you would have done differently in the offseason? That is a good one. What 2 adjustments would you make on offense, defense, and special teams that you think would help the Steelers immensely improve that unit? Could be a player, scheme, or etc. And then we have a bonus topic where Laneisha was at the game on Sunday against the Seahawks. She's basically just going to, give us her observations and experience of how that weekend was with it being alumni weekend and such. So we'll definitely allow her to do that. And like I said, man, the first topic, we got to talk about this press conference. Let me go ahead and set up the order. What we'll do like a Hollywood Squares, if you will. We'll just go from right down and back to the left and then back to me. So Destiny will be the first one to speak, then Laneisha, then Kenyon, and then I'll just give my 2 cents. I promise I won't bore everybody with what I got to say. It's more about them tonight. But I'm going to kick it off with Tomlin. Let me just say this. He couldn't have handled it any better. I love the subliminal shot. I'm going to just go ahead and say that. I ain't afraid. I love the subliminal shot that he threw at the end. And for some of y'all that missed it, if it went over your head, I don't know what to tell you. But there was specific reasons why he said Andy Reid and Sean Payton. Very specific reasons. It was kind of a double entendre, if you will. There's two meanings in that, but loved it. In my opinion, like let's just be honest. Let me just throw this question out there, and if y'all want to answer this, please do. What sense does it make for Mike Tomlin to go to one of these college programs? Like realistically, and he said it himself. What reason would you do that? I'm not talking about our team because we are biased, as you can see with the Steelers gear on. But it's the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's give some other teams some credit. That's like being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, we might not like that, but let's be honest. That's a premier job. Come on. It's like being the head coach of the Green Bay Packers or the Los Angeles Lakers or being the head coach of the Knicks. I mean, it's just one of those premier jobs. Why would you leave the Pittsburgh Steelers and go to college? Because what they're doing in this case is it makes it sound like he's all about the money. By now, we shouldn't think that about Mike Tomlin. That's kind of how I read it. Because even Ryan Clark, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I like Ryan Clark, but Ryan Clark has gotten on my nerves the last couple of years with some of his takes. I'm gonna just be honest. The fact that, let me not get on him too much because he was saying if it was an opportunity, he would throw the money at him, yada yada yada. But again, it's kind of like what Tomlin said himself. Why are we even discussing this? Y'all making it sound like I'm gonna just turn my back on my team and just go take the money in college, or y'all expecting that I might be fired, or like what is it? Like what really is going on there? And like I said, I will end it with this. What he said to end that press conference, what I've been saying all along, and he knows it too. It's a reason why he's being asked that kind of question. Because you saw some of the reporters knew better. They was like, nah, I ain't touching that. But of course, there's always going to be one, and he tried to be clever the way he said it. Like, hey, did you ever talk about college football? Or, he's trying to be slick. He tried to slick his way into the question, and Tomlin shut it down. So I was very proud of that. But Destiny, the floor is yours, man. What was your initial thoughts to not only the press conference, if you didn't see it, but just in general, when you start hearing all this talk about Mike Tomlin going to USC or LSU, as Ryan Clark would say?
Sometimes they say you got the right one. And it seemed like today they got the right one. Because Coach T, he lets a lot go in these press conferences. He has to answer to a lot. It's only 4 African-American head coaches in the league. I'm not trying to make it about race, but I'm just saying he gets asked a lot of questions that some coaches may not, because of what's going on right now in the NFL. So I think that he just reached a point. Look, it's a press conference. We know what I do every week, every Tuesday. If you're going to sit here and ask me questions, make sure it's worth my time. Make sure it's respectful. Or I'm going to start making sure you all know I'm not doing this anymore. So I thought it was a worthy response. I thought it was well thought on his part to say, why he was saying it beyond just the money. But why would he give up this job? Why are you asking me this question? We mid-season. We have an opponent this week.
Come on, man.
We're talking about football. So I wasn't mad at it. I liked it. And, more power to Coach T.
Laneisha, what you got?
No, I told the ladies in the chat earlier, we were texting each other, and I said, Coach T for the win. I said, shame on you for that shenanigans and foolishness. You should know better than to guess like that, man, because he's going to say something to you. He lets a lot go. And sometimes I feel bad for him because I feel like it's a weekly thing where they just try to egg him on. And I'll tell you, as a person who used to major in journalism, I gave that up because I really didn't like what I saw and some of the things you have to do to get a question or to get the hit or whatever you want. But the best part of that press conference was at the end. If you could have seen Bob Pompiani's face and Missy Matthews, they were like, oh, like they know better than to do that. I think it took all they had not to laugh, but I appreciated him saying at the end, don't bring this up again. So I hope that does not happen to him again. But shout out to Coach T for the win.
Absolutely. And guys, we do have Sade on, so we're going to just keep that rotation going. So just to remind everyone, Destiny, Laneisha, Sade, then Kenyon, and then my 2 cents. But except for this one, because I already spoke on this one. But Sade, welcome. And what we're talking about is, what was your reaction to all of the talk about Tomlin possibly getting these college jobs, and B, if you saw the press conference, how did you feel about his response or his reply to the reporter? And let me say this real quick too. I do agree kind of with what Diggy is saying. He says he appreciates the reporter asking because it was gaining steam. I agree on that side. I just felt like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me maybe I'm biased to, not to Tomlin, but my folks here will understand what I'm biased to. I just didn't like the tone. Like it sounded like he was trying to weasel it. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're right, Diggy. I mean, it was definitely gaining steam, and it was good to get Tomlin to address it and kill it. But Sade, what were your thoughts on that? Hello, Sade, can you hear us? Oh, we lost her. Hopefully she'll come back. Go ahead, Kenyon. Go and beat him up one time. I know where Kenyon going.
Look, man, this is everybody else. You just looking at it from a Steelers standpoint. It affects me more, and Sim knows why, because it's SC, and that's my squad. But I heard this rumor on SC podcast 3 days ago. I didn't take it seriously. Carson Palmer, SC has a mentality that they can get anybody they want. But when I heard it then, I was like, I don't want Mike Tomlin at USC. I'm in LA. I know what USC is right now. He doesn't want that grind. He wants no part of that grind, because the minute he hits Los Angeles, he got to recruit. The minute he hits Los Angeles, he got to bring them back to winning chips. That's the only thing people care about in LA as far as USC goes. And USC hasn't been in the national championship hunt in 10 years since Pete Carroll. So that just tells you how long it's been. And I think the USC fan base, just like the Steelers fan base, as I've told Sim, they're very spoiled, where they feel entitled to, we should be in the hunt and us. And they have valid points, because if SC is winning, that's more money for the conference. And SC is the biggest brand on the West Coast. It's not even close. Oregon is winning, but they haven't won the championship. So they have no, SC is still the brand. They're the brand. So unless SC is winning, the fans don't care. Then you start getting boosters mad. That means you can't sell out the stadium. And it's all about money. Always remember that. It's all about money. So Mike Tomlin wouldn't take a SC job. And it's really disrespectful to ask the question, if you want my honest opinion. It's a disrespectful question, because he has the premier job in the NFL where they don't fire coaches. The coaches, it's been 3 coaches in my lifetime, 3. Because I've been alive for 40 plus years. That tells you stability. When you hear the word stability, that's who you look at, Steelers. So, him making them asking that question, and even putting a rumor out there. And, I have friends, and Sim knows friends that I have that I grew up with that played for SC, that played in the NFL, that won a chip. And I never heard them say his name was not mentioned. So to me, I look at it like it was just a disrespectful question. And as Sim said, the response was just priceless, because it shuts everything down. But it's bigger than that. Mike Tomlin's comment is correct. You wouldn't ask those other coaches that. You wouldn't ask Bill Belichick if he would take, the SC job. You wouldn't ask him that. You wouldn't ask Andy Reid. You wouldn't ask Sean Payton. You wouldn't ask whoever top 5 coaches you want to put in there. I mean, you can't ask Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll's going to come back to SC. I mean, there's no reason for him to come back. He's done everything. So, and if he came back, he wouldn't be as successful, because he's 70. When he got the job, he was 50. He was ready to hit the road, ready to grind, ready to go. Now you 70 and you got $60 million in the bank. That grind is not the same. I don't care how much energy you got. You looking at it like, what? Why am I here? I've already done everything. And SC has tried that before. They hired John Robinson twice. The first time was great. The second time, not so great. So you can't repeat those same mistakes. So for me, it was just more like disrespectful to Tomlin. I was actually mad because I'm thinking, SC's my squad, but I just don't want that. I don't want that guy here. You know what I mean? That's my dude. I want him in Pittsburgh. I want him to stay right where he's at and keep doing what he's doing. There's no reason for him to be. He shouldn't even be in the conversation. It's just funny. I've never heard people talk about a coach that's never had a losing season as much as they talk about Mike Tomlin like he hasn't done anything in the NFL. It's so interesting to me, but I know what it's about. So that's the sad part, that it's 2021, about to be 2022 in a couple of months, and we're still in that same place. I want everybody to think about that. The same place. So that's it. I'm not talking about it no more. So, that's all I got to say about it. And Sim knows what's up because I can go off on a rant. I just don't want to do it.
It was so cool to hear Tomlin address it like that. Like that ending was everything for me because it's like, it says so much. He was like, oh, I see y'all. I know what y'all doing. And I know y'all ain't asking them. And I know why. And I'm on their level or better. I mean, just saying. Shout outs to Andy Reid, though. I do like Andy Reid as a coach. But
I like Sean Payton. I like Sean Payton's offense. I like his offense. I like his offense. Yeah.
He definitely should be in question if Mike Tomlin is in question. And like I said, this is not about whether you hate or love Mike Tomlin. I told y'all I'm not having that conversation with people no more. If you don't like him, cool. That ain't even the issue. The issue is just why would that question come up? Like I think Destiny said it. We in a season right now. Like we in the midst of a season at 500. Got a divisional opponent coming up. Like it's weird, man. But we know why. We definitely know why. So we'll keep it moving. But man, we got these topics. I'm telling you, it's woof. I don't even know where to start because all of them is definitely going to spark some real conversation. So I might as well just ask them in the order that you ladies sent them, and we'll do it like that. So, Destiny, you are up first. The first question or the first topic that we have, not really a question, but we're going to talk about mid-season grades, offense, defense, special teams, coaches. And I think the way you all phrased it here is, you can talk about it all if you want, or maybe you can just highlight one particular area. But mid-season grades so far, man, we are 3-3. We're going into week 8. If you guys know anything about me, this is the week that I'm going to tell you what I think about the team. So I think we right on time. It's weeks, the 7th game. So what you got, Destiny? How you feeling about the Steelers at this current point?
All right, well, first, let me go back and say what's up to everybody in the chat. I saw some shout outs late, so what's up to y'all? I saw Rail, Y Diggy, Jordan, my mom, who's a Ravens fan. Boo.
Oh wow! Hello, Mrs. I don't know what to call her.
Mrs. Warren. You can call her Mrs. Warren.
Hello, ma'am. Yes. Welcome. We appreciate you coming to check us out, even though I know you're coming to check out your daughter. Yeah. It's all good.
It's okay. We all saw the Ravens get whooped this weekend. So.
Oh man. Maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the show. Ooh.
So let's Bengals. Man, something. They're gonna be something. All right, so mid-season grades for the offense, I'm going to give them a C. I feel like they've been proficient for what they've been given, and I'm going to just keep it like that. They're obviously getting better. I'd rather us be here with them now than when we were last season, where we just slowly watched it all fall apart. Let's be building the foundation up now, solidifying it so that when we get there, we got something solid to stand on. I give the defense a B-. I feel like they're underachieving, but they're also a big reason for why we're winning games. And so I can't take that away from them. Their execution has gotten us some dubs. So I'll give them a B-. Special teams, I think the same thing. No flash. But we had that touchdown at the Bills game that definitely helped us get that win. The block punt into the touchdown, that was definitely important. We've had some good tackling. Percy Harvin, our punter, he hasn't been bad. So I'll give him a B- too. And then the coaches.
You did the same. I had to cut in really quick. You did the same thing I did on last week's show. You called him Percy.
What is it, Presley?
Presley. I keep doing it too.
Yeah, because I said I was going to nickname him Elvis.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
Thank you.
He was a baller. That's why he's in our mind. Percy
Man.
Harvin was a bad boy.
Come on now. The coaches, y'all gonna be mad at me maybe a little bit, but I'm gonna give them a C minus. They're lucky I'm gonna give them a D. And this is my thing, and we can get into it more later because it's gonna be one of my things. But I just don't like the way we've come into this season, and I think the Bengals game and Raiders game, it looked like we fell apart in all phases. And when you have all phases impacted like that, I'm not saying the game plan was wrong. I'm not saying that they didn't prepare, they didn't show up for practice and put in that work. But at some point, you started getting out-coached if all three phases started getting their butt whooped in a game. And I saw it back-to-back weeks, and that's a problem. And just some things that we've had to deal with on offense. It's like, do you know your personnel? You had a whole offseason. You had a camp. You had a preseason. Show me something more. So coaching to me has been a little And because you're talking about great coaches, I got to hit them a little harder. We know what Spider-Man said. With great power comes great responsibility. So they're going to take that D- too. That's it for me.
I ain't mad at it. Laneisha, what are your grades? What you got?
You know, I don't want to repeat too much of what Destiny said, but I have to agree with the grades. You know, just all across the board. It's been average. You know, the coaching has been, you know, I'll give them a little bit of a break. I'll give them a C because you've got some new people there. So it takes time to, you know, build things and get the team together. But I like Presley. You know, I think young Presley is coming along nicely. And let me just tell you this. I'll throw this out here. When I was at the game, the Seahawks game, my neighbors called Boz the Wizard of Boz. They go, here comes the Wizard of Boz, the Wizard of Boz. So, you know, shout out to Boz for kicking those field goals because, you know, he had a year where he wasn't doing so hot, but he's been solid. But as far as the team, like I said, I agree with her grades. You know, I think they're coming along. I don't appreciate people talking about the rookies because they're new. You know, you've got, 5-6 people that, you know, the Steelers haven't drafted new people like that since, the 90s, 99? So give those guys a break. You know, they're making slow steps, but they're getting better. So I think in these next maybe 2 or 3 games, you're going to start to see people come out and be a little bit different. And let me just shout out somebody. Mr. Ebron, you are not playing as much because you got to catch the ball, okay? You have to catch the ball. When you can catch the ball, the coaches may give you more snaps. So we can't fault the coaches for that when the guy can't catch the ball. I saw his interview today, so maybe he'll hear this message. Catch the ball, my friend. Catch the ball. Thank you.
Absolutely. Sade, we happy to have you back. You can pick right up behind the other 2 ladies there. What are your grades so far on, and it doesn't have to be all phases, but you know, whatever grades you have on offense, defense, special teams, and coaches?
I would say I give the offense a D. It has been putrid. Oh my God, the offense has been like they are trying to find ways to lose the games. Like they're trying to do everything they can to lose the games. Like I understand that keeping the defense on the field, you get tired, you kind of get figured out. Halftime adjustments, oh man, they're terrible. We don't adjust to nothing. Or if we're winning in the first half, like, and a coach does something to counter that, our coaching team has no strategy after that. It's like, so the coach, yeah, I guess I give the defense a C. The offense gets a D, and I agree with the coaching staff getting a D as well. A special teams, that might be the brightest spot on the team right now.
Hey, I'm not mad at it, man. Not mad at it at all. All right, Kenya, break us down. Where you going with it? Like, I probably already know. Like you said, we talk all the time. But.
Right. Look, man. The offense coming into the season, you knew was going to be a work in progress. This is something I knew walking into the season. So my grade for the offense is incomplete. I don't know what they are. I can't be mad at them. They don't disappoint me because I don't expect anything. I expect them to just hold on to the ball and not lose the game for me. So the offense to me is incomplete. Not good, not bad, just incomplete. I knew what the offense was because I knew Ben could not throw the ball deep anymore. Me and Sim have said this repeatedly for the last maybe 2 years that he can't really throw deep. And Sim had more faith in him. I could already see that he couldn't throw it like he used to. That's why the defense started playing the way they were playing against them. You know what I mean? So they start playing man, saying, okay, beat me. And he can't do it. He can't throw that ball anymore. So the offense to me is an incomplete offense. I've also said that the offense, you will not see the offense the way that you think the offense should be until they draft a quarterback that fits Matt Canada's system. So until that happens, all this talking about what the offense is now, I'm not going to get angry because I know what the offense could look like because I saw that offense work with Maryland when he had a running quarterback. So I knew what the offense was. And I'm like, you're not going to see that now. And actually, you see this offense in the NFL right now because Arizona does it. Kansas City does it. Even Cleveland has variations of this RPO offense. They're all running it in the NFL. So until he gets his quarterback, Matt Canada gets the quarterback he wants, we will not see the offense the way that you would aspire to see the offense. Also, if you're going to look at the offense as a whole, the offensive line is young. Dan Moore is going to take lumps. The only offensive lineman I'm really out on is Chooks because I've seen enough. I've seen him for 4 years. I know what he is. Dan Moore is still young. He'll improve. And when I look at the offense, and Sim knows this, I always envision who's going to be there next year. So I'm already looking at the offensive line saying Trey Turner's gone. Chooks is probably gone. Zach Banner might be gone. It's just what I'm looking at when I look at the offensive line. So I'm thinking, who am I going to plug in there? You know what I mean? So that's how I look at the offense as a whole. The Juju got hurt, unfortunate, but Juju's role has been diminished the last 2 years. If you watch the offense, it's been diminished. They have him running inside routes and give me the first down routes. He's invaluable. That's why Sim always talks about he's invaluable because he does what Hines Ward used to do, and he's invaluable in that role. But when you don't have that guy, it's very difficult for your offense to be the same. So now you have to move Claypool into the slot to make some of those catches. And as Sim and I said before the draft that year when we drafted Claypool, the reason why I didn't have him ahead of Pittman was because he couldn't separate and his feet weren't great. So when you watch him in the game now, he does the same things he did in college. He can't really separate. He's fast, but he doesn't separate like Deontay does. Deontay can get, or James Washington does. He can get, he can get past people. Claypool is not like that. He's an unfinished product. Claypool's best days are ahead of him if he puts his mind to it. That's how I look at Claypool. Love Najee. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be a beast. And for those, he's not Derrick Henry. Doesn't have that type of speed. So don't start going there. He's more Le'Veon Bell. You know what I mean? More Le'Veon Bellish. You know what I mean? So as far as the offense, that's cool. The defense, Devin Bush is coming off an injury. I'm not expecting that. It's like I'm not losing my mind off Devin Bush because I don't know if he's healthy. I don't know who he is right now. And he might be tentative, and that's great. TJ's been a monster. TJ is on track to win Defensive Player of the Year. That game 2 weeks ago put him in first place because it was on Sunday night. Everybody saw it, and he made 2 plays in overtime that won the game. That shows you right there. That's how you win Defensive Player of the Year because Aaron Donald did the same thing the year before. So love TJ. Told y'all about Highsmith. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not even gonna talk about Highsmith because I told people about Highsmith. And then as far as I love our additions, the defensive line is hurting without Tyson Alulu. We need Tyson. You know, that loss is big because he occupies 2 people and allows the linebackers to roam free. And you can't really replace that when there's one guy that does that. And so we miss Tyson. I'm not expecting Tua to come back. That's just my personal opinion.
Me neither.
Like I don't think he's coming back. That's just my personal opinion. And as I told Sam, I would trade Tua next year. Like if I was in a situation where I was in the draft and I need to move up, I'd trade Tua if I can move up in the draft because he's never played a full season for us. Just look at the history. He's never played 16 games, and now it's 17 games. So he's never played a full season. He's never been dominant for a whole season. He has great potential, but he's never played. So what can I expect from him? You know what I mean? At that point. Now I kind of know the blueprint on him already. I would hope he would get better. But as far as our corners go, the defense has played okay. I don't have beef with anybody on the defense per se. Minka has just been Minka. And sometimes you play well and you just don't get picks.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you can play, you're doing your job and you just don't get interceptions. It happens. He could have had maybe 2. And he one got tipped. You know what I mean? So he's made mistakes. He made a mistake in the Raiders game. He stepped up. He put his feet two feet forward, and that's how he got burnt. That's how he got burnt on that play. And he's made mistakes. Special teams, look, the special team has played well. Because if you really think about it, they have a block punt, and they should have had a block field goal. So let's think about it like that. So they had 2 plays, but they could have scored points off of that. So as a whole, the Steelers to me are incomplete. If you want to go off the rails and say they're one thing, that's great. That's fine. But I'm never going to look at the Steelers in a really negative light, because I know what the negative light is, because I've experienced it. I've seen them be terrible. I've seen them be 3 and whatever. I've seen them be 5 and whatever. I know those days. I know those days. So when I look at the Steelers, I don't look at, if they're 3 and 3, I'm looking at them like, hey man, we done made it through a tough stretch. Cleveland is injured. If we can pull that off, you're 4 and 3. Next week you got Detroit. You could be 5 and 3. And in 2 weeks we 5 and 3. What can you say at that moment? Last year we were 11 and 0, and people were walking around, and me and Sim were always saying, I don't know, man. Something about that team. They don't look 11 and 0. They were winning, but they didn't look 11 and 0, and it all came to bear. And you never like to think like that, but as a whole, I just think it's an incomplete team. I think you can see the growth. That's what I would say as the positive. We can see the growth in the, Dan Moore's getting a little bit better. He's taking his lumps. Kendrick Green is not getting knocked on his butt every time. Now he's, you can see the athleticism of Kendrick Green. If he puts it together, great. I don't know if center may be his permanent spot, but they put him there. And unless you draft somebody, I'm not going to talk about draft guys, but I didn't tell Sim this, but I changed my draft thing. I used to think it was quarterback, but I just changed my mind on the draft. I'm like, there's a couple of guards that I would take ahead of those quarterbacks. And, namely Kenyon Green, that has my same name as me, that plays at Texas A&M, I will plug him in a minute. He will start and he will take over for Trey Turner. We would be right on the road. But, I would just say it's an incomplete thing for us. So I would just say everybody's going to have the way that they look at the Steelers. Sim and I guess that's why we're so similar. We look at the Steelers, we don't look at them as, it's not doom and gloom for us. It's always like, it's a process. And I hate to use that word, trust the process, because Philly 76ers fans like to say that, but I always tell them that process, that didn't work because you didn't win a championship. So it's always, you have to look at it from both sides. So the defense to me has played well. I still think the defense can be elite if you want to have like that conversation. They can be elite. James Pierre's had his growing pains, and people, look, cornerbacks get burnt. They just do. And now you look back on it now and you say, oh, Jamar Chase got behind him. How does that look right now? Because can't nobody cover Jamar Chase. So Jamar Chase looks like the best receiver in the NFL. He looks like the best receiver in the NFL as of today. And he's a rookie. He's going to keep doing that. He's had 200 yards the last 4 games. Who's had better weeks? Devontae Adams hasn't. He's considered the best receiver. I'm just, stats don't lie. Game don't lie. You know what I'm saying? The kid is, people were saying he was trash. He was dropping passes in the preseason. Sim used to talk about it. Oh man, he didn't look that great. He looks perfect now, doesn't he? You know what I mean? So, and the Bengals are here. They're here to stay. They're here.
They're the best team in the AFC North.
They're here to stay. Like, that's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like Pierre today. Today.
The Ravens,
that's my point about.
Don't sleep.
That's my point about Jamar. Today, as of today, if you telling me today who's the best receiver in the NFL, I'm taking that kid, because that kid, they can't cover him. Like, they're doubling him and they can't cover him. So I'm like, so I look at it like the Steelers are a work in progress. Now, if you don't have patience for that, that's cool, and you can have your own opinion. I can only use patience, and the only reason I can use the patience I have is because of what I've experienced before. For those people who have never experienced the Steelers having losing seasons, I don't think you want to live that life. Trust me, I lived it for 5 years in the Bill Cowher era. For 5 years in the Bill Cowher era, taking L's. Now think about that. I mean, Mike Tomlin never lost. I've never experienced a losing season with Mike Tomlin. But I've experienced multiple losing seasons with Bill Cowher. Multiple. So, and it's not who you draft. You can draft whoever you want. They got to execute. Dak Prescott is not a first-round pick. He's not a second-round pick. He wasn't a third-round pick. Tom Brady was a sixth-round pick.
You got to Pickett ain't going in the first round. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't want to get okay. I don't want to get into that. Look, we ain't doing no draft talk because we go. but look, Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Me and Sim saw Kenny Pickett. Look, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral. I don't think any of those quarterbacks are first-round quarterbacks from what I've seen. As much as I've been talking about Malik Willis, and I love that kid, I don't think any of those guys are first-round draft picks. And if they are, I think somebody will draft somebody like that in the first round because teams get desperate, and that happens every year. But I don't think they are. If I had to rank those guys, they're like bottom half first-round guys. So all this chitter chat about you got to get up to get Malik Willis, like no, you don't. You don't. Steelers could be 500, and he might be there at It's kind of like the Lamar Jackson situation, except he's not as good as Lamar Jackson was coming out of college. But it's like that. That's the type of dude that'll be there at 22, 23. You know what I'm saying? 24, 25. And then, he's sitting there. We're like, oh, will they take him? Will they take him? But as I told Sam, there are guys I might take ahead of him. Because to me, no quarterback, but a great offensive line, I can wait 1 year, let Mason Rudolph, let those two battle it out, live that life, and then draft a quarterback in 23. But I'll have the line. I'll have the O-line already. And all I would need was the quarterback. And which one is better, having the O-line or having the quarterback? Because if I have the O-line, I can stay in the game. If I have a quarterback with no O-line, I can get him killed as a rookie.
Look at Justin Fields.
Exactly. So
how many throws that boy got out from the pocket? It's sad to watch.
I'm just saying, you have to look at it. Look, it's not rocket science. You build your team through both lines. That's how you build your team, through both lines. So the defensive line and they have to replenish that. As Sim knows this, me and Sim have this conversation. Look, if you're asking me right now who I'm taking, it's either a guard or I'm taking that kid out of Georgia that plays defensive tackle, Jordan Davis, right now. That kid, Jordan Davis, right now, you plug him in the Steelers defense, elite. Because he's Tyson Alulu, a bigger Tyson Alulu with more athletic ability. So if you're going to tell me I can get him at wherever we're picking in the first round, wherever that ends up being, I'll do that. But my grade, how I feel. My grade is I'm always going to look at it as a whole. I'm never going to look at it game to game. I don't look at the Steelers game to game. I look at them as a whole because if I live off one game, I'll be disappointed or I'll be, you kind of can get into your own head doing that. So I don't do that. But it's as of today, that's how I feel about the Steelers. And on you now, Sam. But you don't have the same thoughts I had, basically. So
offense. I could definitely see the incomplete, and I could see the D. If you force me to give him a grade, I would say D, maybe C minus. And here's a different reason why I would say that. Can I put a lot of it on Matt Canada? Maybe, maybe not, because we know we don't got the quarterback to really run his style. But where I will get on Matt Canada is I've been saying it early, and maybe we're starting to do it these last two games, but they've been backing off of the run too soon. And I know some people will say, and shout outs to guys who really chart it, and they'll say, well, successful run rates. I get all of that. But without even getting into the analytics, in them first games that we were having a tough time running, at halftime, the dude was averaging 4.4 carry. One game, it was 5 yards a carry, and he had only touched it 6-7 times. Keep running the ball. All of them games we were in, if you think about it. And look what happened when we stick to the run. And granted, some of that is the offensive line has gotten better, and they're improving. But the other part where I would give it a D or a negative score is there has been no changes in terms of the approach, right? Ben ain't going in the middle of the field. We don't have a whole lot of developing routes across the middle. Some of that is O-line. I get it. You know, maybe he doesn't feel like he can stand back there long enough. But it's the same. It's the same show. He sees single high. He's taking the shot.
Yep.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And in this stage of his career, we've already seen him, even this season, 4 times come to mind where he threw it short. 4 times, maybe 5, might be more than that. But the 2 to Juju, he just missed him.
Yeah.
He's thrown Deontay short twice. He threw short to Claypool. I think that was the Raiders game. You know, anytime the receiver got to reach back like this for it, it's short. Now, he's made some good throws. He has hit Deontay on a couple throws deep. He definitely threw a beautiful hole shot in that game.
Yeah.
I give him that. But it's still the same approach. Third and intermediate is single high. He's taking a shot instead of going across the middle. Like, I mean, if you look at the film, the guys are open. And again, you got 3 seconds max in the pocket, but you could tell some of these things are predetermined by Ben. And again, the man has been playing what is it? It's 18th season, right?
Yeah.
He's been doing it this long. We're not going to change the stripes now. I get it, but that's why I got to give the offense a very low score, or even if we want to say like Kenyon and say incomplete. The only reason why I don't know about the incomplete because I don't know if it's going to change. I think this is it.
But Sim, it's a skeleton offense. I mean, you always have this conversation. We always have this conversation. It's a skeleton offense right now. Yep. So everything that you're saying is correct, but is it not a skeleton offense?
It is.
They don't implement everything that Canada wants to do. Why can't they do that? Because Ben
Roethlisberger.
So if you hire me for a job, Sam, you and me, Sim, are in the studio, and you ask me to write the chorus, right? But I'm not writing the chorus. I'm giving you like ad libs the whole time we're in the studio, and you're saying, I can't finish the song. You know what I'm saying? You haven't written the chorus. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, what are you doing? I hired you for that.
I'm gonna say this later because it's one of my things, but I feel like we just giving Matt Canada too many excuses. What does your quarterback have to do with you abandoning the run game early, not better utilizing your personnel? Like, come on, you said that Matt Canada needed. You said he needed a good tight end. We took a tight end 2nd round. He needed a good running back. We took a running back 1st round. You can't tell me that just your aging quarterback, and I'll give you, this is where the line comes back in too, but you can't tell me that he don't have a lot of what he need for his system, and we're still not seeing it. He was here last year. He was the quarterback coach last year. So all I'm saying is, coming into this season, why aren't we seeing a little bit more to say, oh, that's definitely Matt Canada? We've had so many games where it's like, or is it Ben or is it Matt Canada? He has no special style that I've seen come across yet in this offense. And it's like, is it really all based around one play, just your quarterback? If so, then how good are you? Because are you going to need to ride your quarterback's talent, those coattails? You got to conceptualize. You got to scheme. You got to use that personnel. That's all I'm saying. So how much of a skeleton offense is it? Like, what he doing with all these other people that's not named Ben Roethlisberger?
I disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when he was in Maryland, he didn't have a great quarterback. But he has to run that system. An RPO system means you have to be able to have a run-pass option, which means some plays are running plays for the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Can you run with Ben? Can you run RPO?
Yeah.
You gotta run it back in the 1st round. You gotta
can you run any
him,
RPO
run him back somewhere.
Can you run me any RPO? Show me the RPO Steelers that ran. Show me the RPO. But that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. He's been here for 2 years. Why would you even want to run an RPO offense then? If you can't do it, then don't do it.
No, they're changing the offense. Ben asked to come back. So essentially, the Steelers were planning ahead. They were thinking Ben will be gone last year, but he asked to come back at the pay cut. Remember that. He wanted to come back. They were already in the mode of let's move on. So if you're trying to move on with a new offensive system and you have the old quarterback and you can't run what you want to run and he has first refusal. Remember, Ben has first refusal, so he can go up and audible whenever he wants.
But does he? But we're all saying that, and we're not sitting in these rooms. And we said
he's done it in the game.
But this is what we said 2 months ago when the press conferences were happening, when it was Kevin Colbert and it was the Rooneys. They said if he comes back, he's going to have to make changes outside of that pay cut. And we
You
all
believe
said,
that?
oh, if Ben comes back, he's going to have a little less power. You can laugh if you want to, but this is my thing. Did Ben Roethlisberger look different in BA's offense? He did. He bombed that thing. He was following BA. Did he look different in Todd Haley's offense? He did.
Ben Roethlisberger was 33 years old.
We can't make it seem
you know
like
what I'm saying?
but we put this narrative out there like he don't follow coach's rules, and that's not true. When he was in those different systems, he was that quarterback. So all I'm saying is let's not make it seem like Ben Roethlisberger is controlling everything, because that's not true. We take it again. He does not coach the tight ends, the running backs, and the offensive line. Overall, your coordinator has to make that all come together. If it's not, we cannot be like, oh, it's only Ben because he's old. That is not true. I just don't see that. Football cannot work that way. If you're talking about everything needing to come together.
I don't want to look. I'm just going to tell the truth. Someone get caught up in this. Let me tell you what happened. Mm-hmm. If you just look at the Steelers' offense when Bruce Arians was there, he's running the same offense in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. They bomb it, and Tom Brady can still throw the deep ball. That's what Bruce Arians wants to do. He tried that same scheme. In Indianapolis. You have to have the pieces to do it. Ben Roethlisberger has been declining for the last 4 years. It's not like it's been 2 years. It's been 4 years. So he's never been able. Oh, my bad. Okay, Sam, 5 years. So 6 years. Okay. So Ben has been declining for this period of time. He does have first right refusal because last year, if you watch the offense, he was calling plays and changing the plays at the line of scrimmage. Ben likes to go 5 wides and throw the ball all over the field like he did when he had AB and Bell. This offense is a running offense. Ben has never liked to run the ball all the time. And the only time Ben ran the ball when he wanted to run, when he had no say, was with Bus when that was Bill Cowher. He had no say so.
Yeah.
So but once he won and once he became established, Ben is a gunslinger. He is not like Tom Brady in a sense where in Tom Brady's mind, he's thinking, I need to run to help my pass because I want to play action. That's what Tom Brady wants to do. Mm-hmm. Ben is different. Ben is like, I'm a gunslinger. I want to throw the rock all over the field. That's what he wants to do and run and escape plays. This offense that he's doing now, as Ben has said, I had to relearn offense. But he still has their RPO now when you watch Pittsburgh, and you just watch film. When they do their RPO is throwing that out to Deontay or throwing that slant to Claypool. That's their RPO. When if you had a running quarterback, that RPO will be he can go around the corner. He can run and get that extra yards. That's the difference. That's why I feel like
we're giving him too much credit. He hasn't done anything in the NFL.
No, but I'm not giving Camden no credit. I'm saying last year he was a quarterback coach. This year it's his first year as an offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna blame the OC for a young offensive line who they told you we would struggle in the beginning of the year. They said this before the season. They would struggle in the beginning of the year. Yeah. I'm not gonna blame the quarterback. I'm not blaming anybody actually. I'm gonna say Ben carried the offense for 15 years. He carried the offense for 15 years. But you can't. Once you get 37, 38, he's not the same guy.
But that's my point. That's my point. Because I'm saying Matt Canada was there last year, so he was there this year too. So I think he would have said something about the personnel he wanted. I think that with them taking who they took in the draft so high, we took a running back first round and a tight end. All I'm saying is if you're the coordinator, like make that work more. We shouldn't have. I feel like it's weird that we've had so many games so far where it's like, well, where was Pat Freiermuth, or why did we abandon the run so much, or did you put so much on McFarland? Like just because McFarland is gone, now we don't know how to change the pace with our run game. What is Ballage for? What is Benny for? Like, I'm just saying, I feel like we haven't used our personnel and that goes back to the offensive coordinator.
Well, always remember this: it's simple math. If the line is not great, and then you try to run, and they're blowing your run up, what do you have to do? We
have to keep running the ball, though.
When you're down 21-0 and it's the third quarter and you're running, those are scenarios that they've been down. They throw when they're down. That's what Ben does.
But we've said they've abandoned the run game early. Yeah.
Ben has first right refusal. If Matt Canada says call this run play, and I go to the line, and I'm looking at the line going, okay, they're taking away the run. Now I have to throw
I'm just saying it's weird that we keep saying, yeah, he has first right refusal, but even the play calls and the concept, like that play call, I don't even know why Najee Flat, why is there a 4th down and 5th play that has the running back running short of the sticks. That don't even give the quarterback that option. What kind of play call is that? I don't even want him over there to distract the quarterback.
He went right to Najee.
I mean, good Lord. Like, and then the same thing 2 weeks later. Like, he still called the same play.
But you're right, as Sim said, on that play, who was open?
What do you mean?
Because Pat Farmer ran right to the sticks.
No, yeah,
he sat right in his zone.
Yeah, but
he sat right in his zone. So at that point, who made the play? Was it Matt Canada call? Did Matt Canada say, "Ben, throw it to Najee," or did Ben say, "Hey, yo"?
You never know, because I want to know the reads. That's what got me in the play too. What's the reads? If your check down is right here, is that your first read when you? Because it seems like the way he flips his hips, like that's the thing. He's not even looking that way. So is that not even the read? He's looking this way.
But he always remember he doesn't trust that line. He's showing you that he doesn't trust the line by the way he takes sacks now. So that tells you. So when you have happy feet, and here's the funny thing, we just saw this last week with Kansas City, and they got an all-star quarterback.
Yeah,
we just saw the same thing with Kansas City.
I want to know what they're doing too. That's my thing. So, but this is my thing. So you had
when your line is bad, you can't. You have to get rid of the rock. No, you can't do it in 1 year. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Destiny. This is a 2-year, 3-year process. You sign Trey Turner. You don't have the offensive line to start to get it going. Cleveland, it took them 4 years to get their O-line. It took Cleveland 4 years to draft, to get the players, to get the O-line they have now. It takes you multiple years to get the line that you need to have. If you piece together two rookies, and you have them starting at the prime positions on the line, left tackle and center, those are the prime positions. So you have two rookies, and then you have a veteran, and then you have 69-year-old boy, and and actually you want to have a real conversation. He hasn't played great this year.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying overall is know your personnel. If you ain't got guards that can block, don't run power pull. Like, if run a zone run. All I'm saying is it doesn't seem like there's
it's not a zone
that
scheme.
We haven't known personnel. No,
but it's not a zone scheme. I know what you're saying. It's just not a zone scheme. I understand what you're saying. Canada doesn't run his own scheme. He doesn't have the personnel. He can do what he wants to do. Until he gets the personnel he wants to do, then at that point you can judge. I understand what you're saying. At that point, I'll be all in. At that point, I don't know. But right now, I can't judge him because I have a quarterback that won't throw over the middle.
I wish we had the answer.
That's weird.
I wish we knew. I wish we actually knew who was at fault. If that makes sense.
Like I don't like we know. Yeah.
It's times that I do feel like it's Canada at times, but then it's like Kenya said, how do I know Ben ain't checking out of it? And you know what I mean?
I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, because clearly I don't think Matt Canada, to give him a little credit, I don't think he's taking them shots deep every time on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. I think that's Ben.
Oh, that's all Ben. That's all Ben.
That's all Ben. That's all Ben. You know what I mean?
But we'll see. We'll be able to judge him.
Canada wants to run play action. Canada wants to run that play action. You know, if you ever watch Maryland offense, they like that play action RPO stuff. He can't do that with. I mean, Ben is like Ben. If Ben has more than 4 seconds, you just watch him in the game. If it's more than 3 seconds and he sees pressure coming, oh man, he's like a folding chair. You know what I mean? Or I'm getting rid of it, or I'm just taking the hit. And that's because he's
talking about how his legs and stuff is affecting his career. It's not looking good, man.
Come on, man.
But yeah, man. I just I'll go ahead and give my last piece on the grade just so we can get to the next subject, because like I told y'all, these subjects going to get us going. I love this conversation. It's defensively, I'll give them B- because of the last couple of showings against the run game. Remember, I saw it early. I saw it leaking early in even them games where they balled out, but we kept it under control. The last couple of games, you're seeing when we're allowing it to, listen, Alex Collins is a beast. Yeah. But dog, come on, man. You can't. That dude literally had a quarter worth of rushing the football on us with no problem. Zero problem. Straight down the field. What is going on with that? And I know we're missing pieces, but we can only judge us based off of what's happening today. So pass-wise, I think our defense is still, I just took a quick peek at the pass defense. Right now, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're number 6 yards-wise. So we're still doing okay, man, in regards in regards to like overall defense, but that run game scares me. With Cleveland coming, the Titans coming, the Ravens coming, we'll see. Special teams, I think they have done a pretty good job, man. I share that with what Kenyon said. If I had to grade them, maybe the only thing that'll keep me from giving them an A is we haven't had a huge punt return or a huge kickoff return yet. So I'm kind of disappointed in that because Ray started off hot when we first got him. And now and again, I'm not putting it all on him, but now it just doesn't seem like he's popped one yet. But I think they've been playing well. Coaches, I might go with the C also. We've had some good moments, but I do agree with, I'm just trying to use my memory here. Sade, I believe, said it. I do feel like we don't adjust that much. And I'm going to contradict my own point there and say to myself, well, I really don't know that. Like, I can't say if we're not adjusting, but the eye test makes me feel like we don't make a lot of adjustments. And even Tomlin will say at halftime, oh, it's not a mystical thing. We just got to execute. I think there's some truth to that. But then you see these situations defensively sometimes, and I'm just wondering what Butler is putting out there. And last week, some of you guys were right, and I don't know how I missed that. I think I was so stuck on sub package. We were in base. We were in base when we were getting ran down our throat. And I don't understand how that happened in base. But again, it goes back to what Kenyon said. You don't have a guy like Tyson Alualu in the middle. No Stephon Tuitt. Devin Bush getting caught in the wash. Joe Schobert, you're supposed to be this tackle machine. What's going on? I'm not seeing that from you. You know, you 141 tackles last year, and I'm not seeing that. So we'll see, man. It's early. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but great conversation there and great debate. I love that. And it's all love, y'all. You see how you can talk and disagree and everybody still love each other? That's
always.
How you're supposed to live.
Kenyon knows what's up.
Oh, I'm not. No, come on, man. I like that stuff. Man, y'all bugging. Y'all take that stuff too serious.
Passion. It's called passion.
It's called passion, man. Love your squad.
Let's see. What we got next? Mid-season predictions. We will throw it to, Destiny's first. So Destiny, Laneisha, Sade, Kenyon, and then back to me. So what we doing going forward, man? How we looking?
All right. First, Shadow. Don't be coming after my dude, Joe Hayden. I saw that in the chat. You got to watch Steelers Depot. Alex pointed out that footage. Joe Hayden undercut DK Metcalf. To save the play where TJ got the strip sack. He still do something for us.
That's all
my mid-season.
He can't run, so you know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Let
better
Joe
be able
Money
to play
be.
underneath. I love Joe. But you know, Joe, he's like Ben now. I mean, he ain't gonna chase too many people.
He ain't chase too many deaths.
This might be his last year with us, y'all.
Might take the might out. Take that out.
It might be a homer thing. I don't know. As much as I like to give Coach T stuff, it's because I expect greatness from him. I think this team can make a push to get to the playoffs. That's my midseason prediction. That like Kenyon was saying, and I do agree with. Yeah, it's a work in progress. We're midseason, like Sim said. We're gonna know something this week going forward. But I think if they stay where they are, if they keep just working to build, then we can put enough together to get to the playoffs, and that's what I'm rocking with.
What type of record, real quick, before Laneisha go, because this is interesting, and everybody, if y'all want to give you a prediction, what record do you think the Steelers gets in the playoffs with?
And that's crazy.
Just
if I say,
considering the whole AFC, like if you kind of look at it right now, what gets us in there?
we have to go 11-6. I think.
Ooh, that's tough.
We have to go 11-6. Yeah, I don't think the 10 games is gonna. I think if we only did it with 10 games, we would have to go crazy in our division and just knock them down. And I think it's just gonna happen. You all just rock with me on it, okay? It's gonna happen.
I got you. I believe. We believe.
All right.
Laneisha, what you got?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I think some games that we think they'll lose, they're going to win. I'd like to see them go 10-7, 11-6. We'll see. it's a week to week thing. And I apologize for not saying hello to Wide Diggy, my Steeler neighbor, Louis D, Rel, Jordan, Shadow, Ali, all you guys, Leonard G, Leonard L. I see you. But I say that's what I think is going to happen. Like these games, we think they should have won that. They'll lose them, and then the ones that we think that they'll win, they won't. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to go 10-7. I'm going to go 11-6, and stop talking about Ben, y'all. He's old like I am. And Rep One Football has a real interesting special on him, and he was saying that people always give him a hard time about his playing right now. But he said it's one thing to throw the ball because you have to move your arm in a certain way. But he honestly said his hip is bothering him. So, with age, that happens. So, yeah, he's on the decline. But I'm sorry. I'd rather see Ben out there than Mason the Rudolph reindeer. I like Mason. I think he's a good football player, but I am sorry. I cannot take up for him anymore. My cab driver, Mike, in Pittsburgh, he was all like, what do you got against Dwayne Haskins? Man, I got nothing against Dwayne Haskins. I would like to see him play. Give the dude a chance. But the reindeer has to sit down. Thank you.
Sade, what's going on? We making it, and if we do it, what's it gonna take to get to the playoffs?
I think 10-7. I honestly think that these AFC teams are going to beat the snot out of each other, like we always do. But I think it's extra competitive now, and every game counts. So I think I could see us going 1-1 with everybody. So I think 10-7 to get it done. Because we all have tough schedules.
That's true.
And do I think we're going to get there? Based off of what I'm seeing, I don't see 10 more wins. Okay, we get past Cleveland, maybe, but I don't see it right now. I see more like a 9-8 classic non-losing season, but I really can't see 10-7 right now.
What you think, Kenya?
I don't make predictions, man. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't look. I can't start putting that out there because I started doing that stuff. And, it's like I'm not fencing it. It's just I've never done it. It's like when you start. Last year I was thinking they would suck, and they were 11-0. Then at the end of the year they sucked. So if you look at the schedule, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. Cleveland would be the toughest game, but if Baker Mayfield doesn't play, it becomes more of a winnable game. Detroit, Chicago, I like both of those games. I think they have a shot. The Chargers out here in LA. Cincinnati, kind of a revenge game, so we don't know how we'll be at that moment. Baltimore, tough. But you know what? We played Baltimore pretty well last couple of years. So I don't go into it with a lot of fear. Minnesota is tricky. They got top 10 Kirk. And if you want to know top 10 Kirk, it's Kirk Cousins. My friend said he was a top 10 quarterback. He'll never get that credit from me, so I joke on him. Tennessee, is it at home? Nah, I don't like that game. The way the Chiefs are playing now, they got a couple of games to get back. But I would just say this: we got the NFL has the blueprint on the Chiefs now. They know how to stop them. Look, we're gonna split with Cleveland. That's just gonna happen. We may split with Baltimore. That might happen. So I don't have a set what they would do, but I do believe they have to win. They would have to win 2 out of these next 3 for them to be in the hunt. And one thing you have to remember, there's no team in the AFC that's running away with it right now. So they're not like, Buffalo is Cincinnati, but Cincinnati has to play their tough part of their schedule. Yeah, they still have to do that. So until we know, who is, go to Cincinnati. Let's see what Cincinnati is.
Cincinnati is for real right now, too.
Let's see who they got. I'll read them off to y'all because I'm going to keep our schedule up there. And I'm not trying to say that it's one of them things, man. I like what I see out of them, and it scares me a little bit. Let's see. They got their win Sunday. They got the Jets. Then they got Cleveland. Then they got Vegas. We got us again week 12, then the Chargers, Niners, Broncos, Ravens, which they going to have the Ravens at home after already beating them. Chiefs week 17, and then Cleveland week 18. Their schedule is lighter than ours. Well, no, it ain't.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's essentially the same. It's like the same.
Yeah. Jets is, that's kind of like your Detroit.
That's Detroit. Yep.
San Francisco, middle of the road, like the Bears.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's the equivalent. It's the equivalent. The Raiders game might be a little tough for them, perhaps.
And if you're gonna say Cincinnati is for real, then you gotta say the Raiders are for real. You know why? Because the Raiders beat us in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. The Raiders just won Sunday, and they have the same. They're in the same spot. So I look at it like there's no team. There's been impressive teams. Buffalo was impressive in the beginning of the season, but they've lost. They've lost twice, right? So Buffalo's lost twice. The Titans.
We're forgetting about Buffalo. I'm totally
right. The Titans have been. If you want the most impressive team lately has been Tennessee because they just beat Kansas City. They beat Buffalo the week before, so they've beaten the two teams that people thought were going to the AFC Championship in consecutive weeks. And as long as they got that boy back there toting that rock, you have some issues with Tennessee, like real issues.
We better get that tackling together.
Right, exactly. That. So I look at it like, there's nobody just running away with it. It's not like the NFC, Arizona's undefeated. So like they're kind of running away from everybody. But in the AFC, everybody, they're like 2 games away. Pittsburgh's 1 game away. And in our division, Cincinnati's playing well. The Ravens are still, and you had a real conversation. The Ravens could be 1-5. They should have lost to Detroit.
They should have lost to Detroit.
There are games they should have lost, and they didn't lose. So give them credit for winning, but you just got to keep trucking. The Browns game to me Sunday is an interesting game because it would be great to go into Cleveland and pull that victory out because I think it would be a momentum type thing. And then Chicago coming to the house, as Sim says, with Justin. I mean, I would feel bad for him because we would just get after him because you would have to force him because the Bears have no weapons that can really hurt you. And then Detroit is at a point where they'll pull out anything. As I told Sim last week, they were playing Madden last week, onside kicks in the first quarter, trick plays on 4th and 1. I'm like, what are you doing? But they have nothing to lose. So those are scary games. Detroit teams that have nothing to lose.
We are forgetting one team, and you saying that just made me remember in the NFC. We cannot forget the Rams.
No, the Rams. We don't play Rams this year, do we?
No, I'm just saying as far as teams like you said, Arizona seems like they in control. Right. The Rams, man.
But look, Arizona got one up on the Rams.
Yeah,
because Arizona beat them at LA. So now they have to go there and beat them. And look, I think the Rams are a good team. They have a great offense. As Destiny would say, she would love their offense. She would be clapping. Their offense scores at will. They can do whatever they want to. Problem with the Rams is, as great as that offense is, they do struggle at certain points. And so I see them every week, but so I watch them, I say they have a great offense and, but their defense is, so it just depends on them. You can't forget Green Bay, but then Green Bay, I think Green Bay's taking the L Thursday because they don't have both their receivers. Both their receivers are in COVID-19 protocol. So Arizona might be 8-0 Thursday. I'm just saying. Man. I'm just saying. So
I'm scared of this schedule, guys.
It's the Cleveland.
My predictions. Let's just go through it again. This gonna be tough.
Yep. Maybe
we catch them because they're not their strongest. Honestly, Cleveland is as good as they have played, say last year and even some this year. They don't scare me. They don't do anything that make me feel like, oh, we can't play with them. The defense is tough. I think we're gonna have a bit of a challenge with the pass rush. We'll see. And they can run that football, man. And that's the thing. They can run the football and as you can see, your name don't even have to be Nick or Kareem to run it.
Yeah,
this D. Ernest kid was getting off.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry is a guy that concerns me when we play them because he always makes a play. So I don't know how this goes, but this is going to tell me a lot, man. If we win this game, it tells me a lot. If we lose it and it's close, still tells me like, okay, we all right. But this game, and I know you can't just call wins, but you should be able to win this. It might be a little tougher than you expect. But like Kenya said, I think we make it tough on Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, I ain't even got to say nothing about this. And no disrespect to Detroit, but come on, man. They're winless right now. So in 3 weeks, they could have no more than 2 more wins. Come on, man. If you don't win that one, I just don't know what to tell you. This one I don't feel good about in LA because they are good. I really like Justin Herbert. I really hope we find the Justin Herbert of this draft. The one that nobody, the guy that they didn't, he's not project. They had so many questions about him, and look at him now. I would love to find that dude. In Cincinnati, we'll have to wait and see how they look. But this is going to be tough because look at this run. This is where the Steelers has got to make some noise, like Kenyon said. You have to get these.
Yep.
So that puts us at 6 wins. So even if we drop this one, no, that puts us at 5 wins. So if you drop this one, you could be sitting at 5 and 4. Going into LA 5-4, that could get ugly because we could come out of there 5-5.
But that's not a road game. That's not a road game, Tim.
Yeah, it is.
No, the Chargers. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not.
Nope.
It says it's at SoFi.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a road game. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
That game at SoFi is not a road game in LA. That is not a road game.
Not.
That is not a road game.
We took over San Diego, and we'll take it over there in LA as well.
No, they are. I just found out my friend works at SoFi and just told me that the Steelers tickets have already sold out, and they have half the stadium already. So I'm like, that's not a road game. That's not a road game in a new stadium. That is not a road game. So
prime time, man. So we better show up. We better show up.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
This one could always be tricky, so you never know how that's going to go. But I don't like this stretch. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't like facing the Chargers, facing the Bengals, and facing the Ravens back to back to back.
I don't.
I think we win this.
That's going to be a tough game, though, man.
Yeah. I don't like this. I'm just tell y'all.
But is it at the house? If that's at home, then I feel better.
I don't.
Why not the way it's at home?
Well, let me tell you something. They better show me something. And actually, these 3 games, this one, and this one, we better be able to contain the run. Because if we ain't containing the run by the time we get here, ugly. Because here's the dilemma, folks. Oh, my bad. I'll let you go in just a second. Here's the dilemma. How we defend it. AJ, Julio, you can't stack the box. You just can't. With Derrick Henry back, you cannot stack the box. You can't leave our guys one-on-one with them boys. We're going to play too high. You already know it. And what happens when you play too high? What do? Hand the ball off. This is ugly. Unless our run defense has developed.
Right.
So really quick, let me finish that, and then I think that was Sade. I'll throw it to her. Let me just say, I don't see it, man. I hate to be the negative Nancy, but I don't see it. I don't see the 10-7 here. I hope I'm wrong. I think in Kenyon, I told Kenyon this last week. I said, I think we get Kansas City even if Mahomes goes crazy, their defense is horrible.
Oh my God.
So I think we got a chance to beat Kansas City if our offense is clicking. I mean, we talking week 16, but if our offense is sustaining the way they should by that time, I think we can run with them. I'm not even worried so much about Kansas City because that defense is atrocious.
I mean, it reminds me of the Killer B era, and I hate to say that. It reminds me of our defense in the Killer B era. We could score 40 points on you, We can give up 50.
Yeah, I don't
That's
see
how
it,
bad
man.
they are on defense.
8-9. That sound good, Twan. I just don't see it. And like I said, I might have something different to say after this week because this is going to tell me a lot. But yeah, go ahead, Sade, real quick before we go to the next topic.
Okay, I kind of got a question. Do you think that because they were tired of getting gashed up and down the field, that's why the run defense was different? Do you think it was more about schematics?
I thought so, but seeing that they was in base defense, though, I mean, it's almost like that was the better option to defend it. They went big. They was in 12 with 2 tight ends, and we matched the personnel, and they still they was literally just running straight up the middle. And I don't know how else you defend that unless you go with a really stacked box. But
because our secondary is suspect. Our secondary is really suspect. Like if you get them boy a man, it's over with.
Because Pierre's growing. Again, I love Joe Hayden, but Joe Hayden, I don't think you leave Joe Hayden by himself a lot anymore. And man, just because of it, it's come on. If I'm the offensive coordinator and I see that, take a shot, go route. Especially if Minka is in the center, is in the middle of the field, and he got to decide who he guarding. Go route, easy. That ain't Joe's forte
anymore.
Not anymore. And no disrespect, he dude is 30 plus years old. He can't run the way he used to. It just happens to them all. So yeah, you're right. I'm a little concerned, man. I mean, I don't want to get back on that, but just to throw it out there, like Kenya said, draft is interesting, man, because we need corners. Well, I've been saying that for a year or two now. We need corners. Joe Hayden is probably not back.
Do you trust us to draft corners, though?
Man, I think maybe this is the year we go on free agency if anybody's out there, since we're going to have some money.
I mean, I don't think you draft the corner. I don't think there's a cornerback. I don't think there's a cornerback in 22 that I would draft in the first round, except for Stingley from LSU, Darryl Stingley, third. But the thing with him is he might go top 10, so I don't really factor him because I don't think he'll drop. So I don't think we'll be in that position. And as I said, there are bigger needs. Like, it's cool to want a cornerback, and the cornerback will help you. You draft a cornerback, your old line still is incomplete.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'd rather get those lines together and then find me a corner. And you can find a corner in the third round. You can find a corner. Look, say what you want, but Trey Norwood has been playing great the last 2 weeks, and he's a 7th round pick. So you can find cornerbacks, you can find slot corners, you can find. I mean, Mike Hilton was undrafted. It's interesting to me. Like, yeah, they can't draft cornerbacks in the first round. They've been unsuccessful, but they can get them after the first, and they can rebuild them and build them up. And I trust Terrell Austin in the way he teaches the cornerbacks, because he brings those guys along, and he can turn guys well. So I don't think about that. Too many needs to focus on cornerback. And as I told Sim, and Sim and I we kind of do cold scouting in a sense where he'll watch some people, I'll watch people. But the kid out of Florida, Kair, I wanted him. Problem with him is he's not available. So he's missed games in Florida. So that's a red flag. When you're missing games in college, I'm like, oh man, if you're missing games in college, I mean, you know what I mean? You're gonna get hurt in the league. You know what I mean? Once you get a check. Mm-hmm. So I look at it like, it's too many holes. You can find corners and we'll get compensatory picks. So we may be able to address cornerback in the third and the fourth. And I will say this: the DB class is deep. Maybe not top heavy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can find guys third, fourth. You can find those guys. So as Sim said, the Killer Witherspoon situation, you look back on it now, it's like it looks worse. But I understand what Colbert was doing. He was trying to, add depth. And I don't know what's going on with him. And but I'm not expecting anything from him. And I think Pierre essentially has played a Killer Witherspoon out of that mix. Yeah. And I think Trey Norwood has made it worse, because Trey Norwood has come in the last 2 weeks And the one thing Trey Norwood does better than I would say some of those cornerbacks on our roster is when you watch him, you always see him making plays on the ball. Like he's always doing that. Like he's always like close to the receiver. Whereas you see other cornerbacks, they don't do that. As Sim says, he hates when they play off. One guy plays off and they give him that quick little 5-yard gain, 10-yard gain. So it's the same thing. So there are too many other issues with our offense. And in the offseason, you'll really be able to see that they really need to get both of those lines together because, look, Cam Hayward's getting old. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's getting up there. Yeah. So you're going to start thinking about getting another D tackle, which is why they probably drafted Loudermilk. He's coming along fine. Yeah, Loudermilk is coming along fine. And look, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they have to draft the inside linebacker. You know why? Because Devin Bush, unless he comes back, you have to get another guy. I like Schobert, but you got to get another guy because you have to have another guy there. And I told Sim there's 2 dudes I would take, and we don't have to get them in the first round. And they both play for Wisconsin. And Sim knows exactly who I'm talking about. I'll take both those guys. And Pittsburgh loves Wisconsin players. Remember that.
So you don't think that they're going to pick up his 5th-year option?
They will.
That's you think so?
I think they will. You know, because I have to use it's sad, but we have to use. We always got to use Bud as the example.
Who?
When they picked up his option, he won't playing great, right?
Who are you talking about?
48.
There you go.
Because I'm gonna tell y'all, he looking like 48 in Tennessee. I ain't heard his
look
name
like 48.
Yeah, he should have stayed with us, but I think they pick it up. Well, we'll see. Because wait, is it this year they got to make a decision?
No, I think it's
the next one.
It's next year because this is year. Yeah, it'll be next year.
Yeah, okay, they got time. So that's going to determine if he plays better this season and improves from this season next season, they'll pick it up.
Right.
It seems like you got to do extremely bad for them. Well, they didn't pick up Edmonds.
They didn't pick up Terrell.
Yeah,
but I think that's a money thing down why they didn't pick up Terrell's though. I think that they can get him cheaper without picking up his 5th-year option.
I think he's gonna sign. I do think
a cheap long-term contract.
Do you think?
Because what's his market?
But do you think they would draft a safety? I mean, they drafted Norwood, and he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, but he's not really considered a typical strong safety. And a lot of people in the chat don't like Terrell.
If they re-sign Edmonds, I don't think they go safety in the draft. Because like you said, Norwood, can essentially do both.
Right.
I do believe that we'll re-sign Terrell Edmonds. I have a feeling because I don't think his market is higher than Sean Davis, but I'll use Sean Davis as an example. I think he's going to be in that Sean Davis purgatory, if you will, as far as contract. I don't think another team looks at him as much. Well, I don't know. They might see the stuff that we like about him. So
that's true. He
might have a market out there, but we'll see, man. Let's see. Moving right along, man. What was the next one we have here? And this one should be fairly quick. I'll actually answer this one first, so it ain't even got to come back to me because I'm gonna be fast with this one. If you were Kevin Colbert, looking at today's team, what's the one thing you would have done differently this offseason? To make it quick before I throw it to Destiny. The first thing I probably wouldn't have done, I know this is hindsight, and I'm just going to cheat and say it. I don't know what's going on. That Ahkello Witherspoon thing just don't look like that panned out, but that's kind of
Ooh, that was mine.
Yeah, it's unfair to say that. But the other thing, honestly, I don't know what I would change because they did try to address what we needed. They did try to somewhat address the offensive line. Let me see. Maybe, Schobert. So they tried to get the defense better as far as, a guy that can help out on the inside. It's kind of not fair because I don't know, and I'm gonna be honest and say I don't know who was available at what position. Because I see a lot of fans say, man, we should have did something with the O-line. Oh, man, we should have did something, but who was available? That I don't know. But I will say that they tried to address the offensive line in the draft, drafting Kendrick Green, Dan Moore. They brought in Trey Turner. They brought in Schobert. I think they made some of the necessary moves. Some people are not going to agree with what none of us say because, there's going to be people in the chat that's going to say, oh, they should have tried to get another corner. Okay. Oh, man, they should have got a better receiver. Okay. I mean, everybody's opinion is different. But to me, I think the areas of need after the draft was still trying to see if you could bolster up the line. And they attempted it. They attempted it. Has it hit yet? Maybe not. I think it's growing, but in bringing in Schobert, I think was a good, a good reach, whether he works out or not. I think we definitely needed to do something there, after, Vince Williams wasn't going to return. So I don't know if there's much I would have changed outside of that. But what you got, Dustin?
So this is lightweight. While I was so vehement earlier about Matt Canada, I think I'm just ready for them to bring in somebody who I just with some swagger and backbone. I want to look at our offense and see some type of like special mark that lets you know whose offense it is. You either have people who have a system or you have players that need a system built around them. And what I mean by that is like, since we've been talking about it, if you look at the Ravens, when Lamar came along, they did not use the same quarterback coach and offensive coordinator they used for Joe Flacco. They went out and got is Greg Roman the defensive coordinator? Who's the offensive coordinator?
Roman.
Who's the same guy that did? Yeah,
it's Roman.
So he was the one who was with Kaepernick too. They went and got the same guy they used with Colin Kaepernick to run that specific kind of offense. On the flip side, you had a Shanahan's. I don't care which one you're talking about. They're gonna need a good tight end, a slew of running backs, and they're gonna have their system. They do the same thing. People, how did Jimmy Garoppolo get to the Super Bowl? He was in Shanahan's system. Like it's all he needed to do. It didn't matter who the quarterback was, and you know their system when you see it. They've been doing this in Shannon Sharp. And who was the running back in Denver with Shannon? Is that Eddie Davis? TD Terrell Davis.
Yeah, Terrell Davis.
Yeah. So you had I mean, now granted they had John Elway. That does help. but that was Shanahan's system. Shanahan built that system around them, and you can see it now all the way to the 49ers and what they're doing with his son. They still have Greg Kittle. They still have their depth chart of running backs, and you're gonna have your Deebo Samuel and other people. Don't kill us, basically. You know what I mean? So I was ready for us to have somebody from the outside come in and breathe new life back into our offense that was so distinctive. I'm tired of the in-house hires where we don't know what's happening because there's so many politics behind it and all that stuff. I just want to know at the end of the day when they're doing press conferences, we definitely know it was the coordinator. We definitely know it was the quarterback. And sometimes you're not going to always know that. But it's a lot of times where we can look at some other teams and say, oh, okay, you can see what happened here. Or they'll even say it themselves and they don't feel the need to do all this gaslighting and other stuff. So I think I would have looked at somebody else who came in the interview, and that could have to lead back to last year when they hired him to be the quarterback's coach. But it's just underwhelming to me at this point. I don't care who the quarterback is. It's just the whole scheme seems underwhelming. I could be eating these words in a couple of years, but I was interested in seeing somebody else come in and provide a spark that we've had before that is just very distinctive to who they are, in a sense. Like a B-enemy, like a Joe, whatever, Brady, whatever. There's a lot of people out there. Even BA. BA has his mark. I know what I'm getting. I want to know what I'm getting. I'm tired of all this, cloak and dagger stuff with our offense and the coaches. It's too much.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Because I mean, even if we all know what it is, we still can judge what we're seeing in the current day. So that's definitely a fair point. Laneisha, what would you have done differently?
I'll make this quick. I think Kevin Colbert did the best he could with the situation he had. There was only so much money and so many players available. The person who I have in detention right now is Mr. Witherspoon. I read that he is not playing because he's not contributing to special teams. Mr. Witherspoon, we gave a 6th-round pick for you. Please do your job and contribute to special teams. It was a 5th? Okay, that's even worse. Do your job, man. So that's what I read because I kept thinking, where is this dude? You gave up a 5th-round pick? But that's what I read. Please do something on special teams so we can at least get something out of whatever we have. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is a good point. And I was going to add really quick, I wanted to see what Carl Joseph could do, but Trey Norwood is keeping him off the field too.
Yep.
So there you have it. Sade, what would you have done differently if we brought you in and you were the off-season GM? What would you have changed?
That trade, man. that trade kills me. Oh my God, that trade kills me. But then again, Trey Norwood did come around and, show promise. And I think that's why a lot of guys aren't seeing, an opportunity to get on the field. And it's also good that we have depth there in case, we have an injury or whatever. But right now, that trade is not justified. And that's good draft capital. And we gave up a 5th round pick for this guy. So, yeah, that's kind of a tough pill to swallow. So,
yeah, you know what they say, man. Hindsight is 2020, but it's fair for us all to say that. Because I think Kenya even brought it to my attention before it happened. He might not have made Seattle's team, it seemed like. And it's kind of like, it just stings even more. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But, Kevin Colbert, we trust. But if Kenyon was the GM and in Kenya we trust, what would you have done differently, if anything at all, this offseason?
I'd hired Sim. We'd have went to we just did it ourselves, just scouted, and just did the stuff we need to do. I wouldn't have re-signed. I wouldn't have brought Ben back. I would have just started it right now when I got into the draft. I still may have drafted Najee. I may have went O-line the next 2 rounds. Skewed the tight end. I like prime move, but I might have just built my lineup first. Find me a tight end later. Probably would have. I got rid of Keith Butler, but I've been wanting to do that for like 5 years, but I can't do it. I probably got rid of Keith Butler. I would have. I probably would have just. As far as signing anybody, I don't know if I would have signed anybody. I like Canada, but I'm a realist, and I can use the example of Mike Shanahan's son, who became an OC in Atlanta. In the first year, the offense sucked, and until he got the people he wanted to run that offense, with Matt Ryan, then the offense started to flourish a little bit. Got him to a Super Bowl. He made some terrible calls in the Super Bowl, which cost him the Super Bowl. But he still got the 49ers job. He made some terrible calls in the Super Bowl with the 49ers. And so offense is only one part of the ball. I like his offense, but I would have did that. I would have kept Canada and let him build his offense. The Dallas Cowboys offense was not good 2 years ago. And then Dak got hurt last year. And then now you're seeing the fruition of him. They're building that offense around. And it's not about Ezekiel anymore. It's about Dak. You know what I mean? And the weapons he built around him. And getting that O-line together. And getting that stuff fixed and all that stuff, because they were having problems with the O-line. O-line people were getting hurt, they were getting older. You know what I mean? So it takes a minute to implement your system. Quarterback coach can only do so much, especially if you have a figurehead at quarterback. You can use. There are many examples of this of quarterbacks that do these things. So it's more of a patience thing. I can't judge somebody like a Matt Canada until I see him and give him his shot. Take it.
Yeah. I think to respond to you, Anton, because I saw what you were saying. I guess I'm not a fan of the RPO because it becomes so quarterback specific. Whereas with a system, you can say, okay, Matt Ryan got to the Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo got to the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to try and knock Tom Brady. But I think one of the reasons Cam Newton didn't work there is because he didn't fit into that system that whole team and organization has established, no matter who comes in with, because Josh Daniels has that continuity there. So that's why they were looking for a Mac Jones. So I'm saying I would rather have it not be so like it's going to have to be a run pass option quarterback who has to be mobile. I know Coach Tomlin has talked about that so much. Mobility.
Talk about it today.
Yeah, it feels riskier. Like when you bet and you're gonna do a parlay, you're gonna take the spread. It's like the parlay gonna be riskier. It's might have a greater return. That's the problem with Lamar right now in Baltimore. Like when he's hitting, but when he's off, the whole team, like it all fall apart. It's just a lot that goes into RPO. So I get it, and I get what you're saying. If that's what they're doing, it's going to take a minute.
Yeah, but that's football. Yeah, that's football now. I mean, I understand. It's like you can equate it to any type of sport you want to equate it to. Yeah. In the NBA, they used to throw inside the post and then the outside guys wouldn't shoot threes. Now everybody shoots threes and they don't use centers anymore. You know what I'm saying? Do I like that style of basketball? No, because it just makes it. You got people shooting threes that shouldn't be shooting. You know what I mean? So then in football you have the same. That's same thing. That's a
heck of a comparison.
Right, it's the same thing. Man. Anthony Davis shouldn't be out there shooting threes.
He can shoot them.
He's 6'11", he can shoot them, but why is he not down in the post?
With the finesse, he's supposed to be.
Right, it makes everything soft. That's the best way I can put it. That's the best word I can use.
Right.
It makes everything soft. Yeah. It makes everything, to use a Ghostbuster analogy, it makes everything Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's how they look when I watch them. They can't take a hit. Somebody get hit, they fall, they rolling over, they crawling over, they cross. It's just like, come on, man. So like in football, the RPO, that's what you see in football. I understand what you're saying, Destiny, because if you want to have a real conversation, I want to go back to the 70s where they just gave them the ball in 3 yards in a cloud of dust and we just play action all the time.
Right. I just want to do what makes the most sense when we are in a circumstantial football. Right. I'm tired of this RPO stuff.
Right, but then but you have to remember, Shanahan's offense is RPO.
Facts.
The original Shanahan ran RPO technically, but he had John Elway. You know what I'm saying? Who could run?
That's what I was saying. Who could run? TD. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's the same offense. It's just everybody started to catch on and do it. And if you saw the colleges dictate what the NFL does, in generational, as far as generational football goes. The perfect example I'll use Simmons' example. He loved Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. He loved him. He's like, I love this kid, Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, you see that offense right there? That's the future of the NFL. Because they're all doing that. They're spreading everybody out. They're all doing that. And once you spread everybody out and that starts to work, defenses adjust. You know what I mean? Coordinators start to get a blueprint on it. They adjust. And then you have to run the ball. Tennessee, to me, doesn't run an RPO offense. They run a kind of a traditional offense. Mm-hmm. And it can win you games. But until Kansas City started to win, you wouldn't have believed in RPO offense. But it won a Super Bowl. So now at that moment, that goes out the window. Now it's like everybody, they're going to follow the trend. The Rams run RPO. I mean, that's why they got rid of Goff. They got rid of Goff because he could not run his system. And that's what I mean when I say that. It's not, I understand what you're saying because I can feel you. I can go right there with you. Let's do that. But the NFL is all RPO now. And the Steelers are really the last team to not want to go RPO. Their system, they're kind of behind compared to other teams. So I just think the next quarterback, as Sim and I have said before, I just think he has to be mobile. Not necessarily he has to be Lamar Jackson or he has to be Michael Vick or he has to be
Russell Wilson, bro.
Kyler Murray.
Or Russell Wilson, or Kyler Murray, who's doing it, who's doing damage. You know what I mean? Or something like that. But they don't have to be that. That's why Sim and I, we were looking at quarterbacks, we were looking at certain guys. It's like, that's why when you would see Malik Willis, your mind you lose it because you go, put him in that system. And when it's 3rd and 5 and it breaks down and the offensive line can't get, he'll get you 5. Mm-hmm. He'll get you 10. You know what I mean? So that's the type of offense we have. And Ben, with all his injuries, you have to think about it like this. Ben is 39, but he's really not 39 in the body.
Right.
In his body, he's like 57, 58. I mean, he barely moving out there. He was barely moving when he was 30. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He wasn't a great scrambler again. So it's just his body is done. So it's kind of like,
he'd be looking back, running.
It's comical to see him run.
It's interesting, And you know what's funny? Because I wouldn't consider Patrick Mahomes like a fast quarterback, but he just runs when he has to run. Mm-hmm. But you're so scared of him throwing the ball that it just opens up the lane for him. You know what I'm saying?
More like Russell.
He more like Russell.
When he have to.
He run him when he have to run. And then or Aaron Rodgers, who perfected it. Where Aaron Rodgers would, if you give me, then I can run when I want to. And that type of stuff, you need kind of. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a guy that runs a 4-3, and you know what I mean. It's just beating everybody down the field of Lamar Jackson because it's you're putting your quarterback at risk. But if you have a great offensive line, you can do a lot of stuff. Dak Prescott, to me, who has taken a leap He's elite now. You have to think about him as
comeback player of the year, probably.
When you watch the Cowboys and you watch him, he just does everything so well. And that's why I'm not a big fan of when people say, "Well, you have to draft this guy in the first round. You have to." Right. I'm like, there's too many examples of that you don't. And the only example, if I'm going to gamble, if you're going to tell me I'm GM, and you're telling me I got to pick people, I'm building my lines up because I want that to be the most expensive part of my team. That and quarterback. That should be my expense. That's where all my money should go. O-line, D-line, quarterback. I can get a cornerback. I can get linebackers. Linebackers fall all the time. You can get linebackers in the third, fourth, unless it's just somebody that you just have to have, and he's just that dynamic. You know what I mean? And in the Devin Bush year, I guess you could argue that those two linebackers were so dynamic that you had to do that, make that move. You know what I mean? It was such a big thing. But that's what I would do as I was GM. Like I said, my first hire would be Sim, and then I would hire Laneisha and Destiny as my little scouts. I will send them on the West Coast and let them do their thing over there. I have Sade doing some other stuff inside the organization. But, hiring within, that's the Steelers' way. Yeah. I know people don't, it's like family. Like, if you have a family, you can offer somebody a job, you might offer your son or your nephew or your niece. It's just, that's how you build legacies. I hate to use a Game of Thrones term, but that's how you do that. That's how you get the Lannisters. That's how you get, you know what I mean? You get them because they can hire from within, you know what I mean? The Targaryens. So that's how I look at it. It is what it is, but I agree with you, Destiny. I'm just saying I can't judge Canada right now. Yeah. When he gets his quarterback and he starts to do that, then we'll be like, okay, I agree. But right now I can't do it. So I have to let the process play out.
He's gonna have an opportunity to prove it.
He's gonna have his opportunity. Yep. Just like Keith Butler. Keith Butler has an opportunity, and he's improved. I haven't bashed him like I used to, but do I think he should still be our? And remember, he got that job because they forced.
Yep.
They forced the blowout. That was him complaining. So.
Yeah, it's time for something new there on defense. I would like to just see a new approach.
Yeah.
But let's see. We got two more. Where we at? 9:12. Want to wrap up by 9:30, and I think we'll be able to do it. So we'll speed through this one, and then we definitely want to. The last topic, we'll let Laneisha give us, her time and experience at the Seattle game. So just to keep it moving kind of fast, I'll give my answer first too, so I can get on out of the way for this one. What two adjustments would you make on offense, defense, and special teams that you think would help the Steelers immensely improve the unit? Could be a player, scheme, or etc. This is a tough one. I could be here all day, so I'll just pick one thing. Two things, actually. Stick to the run. To me, the run game, in my opinion, hasn't completely failed. It was slow early, but you've seen it progress and continue to progress. It was great against who was that? Who was that? We ran the ball really well. Denver. Was it Denver? I think it was the Broncos.
Yeah.
Got slowed a little bit against Seattle, but in the second half, picked right back up. Keep running the football and find creative ways to run the football. That's what I would ask Matt Canada to do. Creative way. And I've been seeing it. I pointed it out for you guys who are members of the channel, and all 22 footage. I'm going to try to get that to y'all for last week, tomorrow. I've seen some real cute formations, Matt Canada. So let's keep doing that. Keep utilizing that personnel and run with what you have to create the space, lanes, et cetera, et cetera. On defense, I know you can't do this all the time, but I really want to see us start playing a little tighter. And I know it's kind of a counterpoint because I said Joe Hayden can't really run anymore. So if he presses, then I get it. But let's shorten it up a little bit. I'm sick and tired of seeing us with one corner, sometimes two, but always one corner that's like 10 yards off the ball. And it's 3rd and 3. Come on, man. Like, again, in that Seattle game, was that pass to Metcalf a little too easy? A little too easy to get that shot in there like that. Come on, man. I need them to see them to do that. Special teams, I just think, just continue to block. You know, Ray has had some decent returns, so maybe one pops. But other than that, those are the two things I would fix. Keep running the football, take the shots when they're there, but not so many times. But run the football, and let's just play a little tighter on defense, man, because I do feel like we give up some easy completions here and there. But those are my two things. What you got, Destiny?
So on offense, I would say expand the run game. I just don't want us to run Najee into the ground. If we were supposed to be using all of our backs, then let's see it. I like Balaj personally. Balaj, however you pronounce it. I like him personally. I like his change of speed. I know when McFarland gets back, we'll probably be using him too. So let's do that. I still want to see Derek Watt, like Miss Laneisha said earlier in the year. I still want to see him more involved. Alex Kozora was reporting during training camp that he was catching passes and they were really opening it up with him. I'd like to see it. Like Monique said, I would like to see it on the field during a game when we could win. On defense, let's stick to the fundamentals. Why are we missing tackles?
Yeah,
Take the sleeves off if you need to. Whatever. Make tackles. That's one of the things that's killing our run game right now, honestly. Just make the tackles. And shout out to Coach Austin, because I think our DBs do play more aggressive. I think I definitely have been around long enough to see that change of pace. They are ball hawks. So I would say stay aggressive. Special teams, I want them to stay creative. I feel like they've been doing something for these plays to come to fruition this year. I don't know what they're doing, but the fact that we did have those two successful blocks when you usually get one a season, that's big. So those are my adjustments. On offense, expand the run game. Let's not run Najee into the ground. Is Derek Watt home? I don't know. Defense, make the tackles. Stay aggressive on the ball. Special teams, stay creative. We're going to need you all probably to get some of these dubs later in the year for this tough schedule. So my adjustments are things.
Yeah. We definitely can't keep missing these two-man tackles. That killed me in that last game. Two guys. I mean, y'all actually hit him, and he's still. Come on, man. That's pathetic.
It's embarrassing.
Laneisha, what would you change? What would help us immensely win the Chargers game, the Ravens game, the Bengals game?
I have to agree with you. I wouldn't give up on the run game. You know, they're making progress there. We can't have Ben throwing 40, 50 times. You know, change it up a little bit. Derek Watt, I said it before, bring him out. And you know what? I'd like to see Boss continue his streak of doing well, because for him to have new people like Presley and Christian Kuntz, because he got used to the familiar, I think he's made the adjustment well. So I wish that team, those three, well, and I hope they continue their the good things they're doing. But other than that, I have to agree with the two of you. But please not run Najee into the ground. Okay, let's not do that to him. There's other people on the team. Let's mix it up a little bit. So there you have it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna echo that, man. I'm glad y'all mentioned that, because I just don't. It looks like he can handle it, but let's not find out if he can handle it. Sade, what would you change? What makes us a better team right away?
I'm just saying, continue to build continuity with the offensive line. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing. I mean, it's inconsistent, but you know, when they move people, they move people. When they get pushed back, they get pushed back. So, you know, and I think it started to come around in that game. Chooks was blocking Von Miller, right?
Yeah, he balled.
Yeah, he did pretty good. I agree with the not running Najee Harris in the ground. But y'all know how Tomlin likes his bell cows, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, you spend a first round draft pick on that boy. So you know they're going to use him. But, yeah, I would say work to get other running backs involved. As far as special teams, like, I want to see more splash. Like, as far as, like, you know, returning punts and kicks and stuff like that, I mean, I guess you can't really ask, you know, too much more out of the special teams than what you get. Because, you know, balls has been money, you know. And Presley Harvin, he still shanks a punt or two up in there. I'm gonna need him to, know, for every 62-yard bomb, he got a little shaky in there. But you know, I'm liking what he's doing so far.
Yep, and before I throw it to Kenyon, just to add on to the Najee thing, watching Kamara last night, let's allow him to do a little more choice routes. And I did call it in that one game the week before. I said, hey man, can I get an angle route? And we did it. Let's get some more of those, some choice routes. Let's leave the flats alone when the defense knows it's coming. I'm not saying we can't do it, but no more design to the flat unless it's clearly open. Choice routes, angle routes. Najee is a serious problem and a serious matchup issue. So let's keep doing that because y'all saw Kamara getting crazy last night.
And run defense. That's for my defense. Run defense, please. Let's try to stop somebody because we got Derrick Henry coming up, and if they tackle him like that, he gonna carry him in the end zone. So
it's not gonna look pretty. What can we do, Kenya? Based on what we currently have assembled, where do we need to change if we're going to be talking positively about this team after next week versus stating that they ain't going nowhere?
All I can say is they just need to improve. That's it. There's nothing else. Everything. I mean, Najee. Tomlin said he wanted the bell cow back. And Najee is a bell cow back, just like Le'Veon Bell was a bell cow back. And, you kind of give those guys all the carries. And the backups are supposed to spell them for 2 or 3 plays, and that's what they do. I mean, I do believe Anthony McFarland is there. He would be in some of those sets because he's a different running back than the running backs we currently have on our roster. Snell, Najee, Balaj are the same back. Najee's just a better version of them. And Balaj is the same. So I think that's what you have to do. But it's really the offense. It's really both lines getting improving. Because if you do that, then you can put in Balaj and he can get you a little, he can get you something here and there. And I like Balaj as the backup, running back helping you out. So to me, that's basically it. As far as run defense, look, that was a horrible tackling display. They've had a week to live with it, and I hope they recognize that they need to tackle better. And that includes everybody on defense except for probably Cam Hayward. The only person I'm not really going to get Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt and Highsmith have been consistent the whole year. And I would throw Melvin Ingram in there, but even Melvin Ingram has missed tackles here and there. But he spells you. Schobert has been sure when he's there. When he gets there, he's there. And Spillane has been great, and he's starting to get reps, and I like that. Bush it's all about Bush feeling better on his knee. If he can ever feel like he was before knee injury, then we'll see Devin Bush. We'll see him improve and get better. But I always have to factor in that Devin Bush is coming off a knee injury. And it takes you that year, and you're never the same that first year. Even though you can be 100% in your mind, it's your body. It's what it's what your mind is telling your body. It's that fear that It's the fear when you're out there and you just feel a little uneasy. And when you have those type of injuries, you do question yourself. So it's what do you say?
When the phone rung, that's AARP calling.
Yeah, that was AARP. I mean that would basically be it as far as that goes. And I have no beef. I mean, everybody else. Mika I have no problems with Mika, and I think Terrell Edmonds has played very well this year. People don't want to talk about it, but he's played very well. He's always been in the right spot. He's making plays. Do we miss Mike Hilton? Yeah, but I don't miss him in coverage. I really don't miss him in coverage. Like, to have a real conversation, I do not miss Mike Hilton in coverage because I know what teams will be doing to us right now. If Mike Hilton was in that nickel or that dime, they would get a slot receiver, and put him right on Mike Hilton, and then just attack him all game.
Yep.
So it's as far as that go, I'm cool with that. And I like Loudermilk's. Like I said, I like Loudermilk's improvement. I even like Mondo. Mondo has played in Spurs pretty well. I do wish we can get Davis back because he's really the guy that spells and maybe could fill that role. Bugs has been kind of like this. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. But you have to remember, that's a big loss. That Alulu loss is the biggest loss. People are not understanding how big of a loss that is because of what he did for us as far as letting Cam eat and TJ eat. So it's really impressive that they still have started to get back to pressure. And so that will be it. Mm-hmm. Just improve. That's it.
That's it, man. And before we let Laneisha take us home, I saw a couple comments in here. Somebody made the comment and someone else said they agreed. And we all entitled to our opinion. But he said, let me see if I can find it. Even if I can't find it, he basically said getting rid of James Conner is going to bite us in the behind. And I'm like, this is my only thing. We all liked James Conner as a person. Of course, what he went through, I still root for him. You know, for him to go through what he did and to be playing professional football, I liked Conner. I really liked him when he was healthy. Conner ran hard. You know, he was a tough dude. But why did the Pittsburgh Steelers get rid of Conner? Everybody knows he wasn't reliable. Like, so people act like the team got rid of him because he wasn't good. That wasn't the case. And just because you saw him score a touchdown last week in Arizona, come on, man. Like, and how is having Najee worse than having Conner? So I don't agree with the sentiment of losing him will bite us in the butt, as if James Conner was going to be the difference maker on our offense this year. That's all I'm saying. But everyone's opinion, you're entitled to it. But I just don't see, because again, man, I remember, and all of us here remember this, so many people who was ready to throw James Conner out the window. Now we shouldn't have got rid of him. It's like, that's weird. I don't see that. I'm sorry. I just don't. And, you know, again, that's not a disrespect to Conner, but, you know, Conner didn't stay healthy. And that's the reason why, unfortunately, he had to leave Pittsburgh. But we're going to end the show with Laneisha, man. Laneisha was at Alumni Weekend, went to the Seattle game. I'm jealous because I was this close to going, because I have never been to a Steelers primetime night game. I haven't done Monday night, haven't done Sunday night, and this would have been perfect. And I didn't make it happen. So I'm jealous that she was able to go, but I'm happy that she was able to go, and she's going to give us her experience. And I'm sure Laneisha will tell you the experience is much better when it's a win. It feels so much better when you travel to the game and it's a win. It's just it's lovely. But yeah, man, let us know, how was it? How was your experience on that particular weekend?
We had the best time. I have to thank my nephew because he was the one that picked the game. It was either that or Baltimore. So we went to the Seahawks game, as you know. We sat in section 524. That's a good place to sit because you get a really good view of the field. You were right, Sim. My sister bought the tickets. I said, Sim said that's the best place to sit. You were right. So thank you for that.
I usually sit, just so y'all want to, in case y'all want to know, I usually sit at 534.
Okay.
That's like right in the middle.
Like right in the middle?
The 20s is good too, but if anywhere from like 520-ish to about 538, listen, because let me tell you, not to cut off Laneisha, I'm gonna throw it right back to her, but trust me, if you've never been there, the first time I went to a game, I'm thinking, and Floyd remembers I went with him. This was years ago, and I'm thinking, we got to sit close, and we paid $200 and something, almost $300 a ticket, and we sitting in the twos, but I was at the 20-yard line, not realizing that the closer you are, you can't see the field. So most of the time, I was doing this. I went and sat in the 500s. Beautiful. Full. It's the all 22. I will never see. Maybe I might slide down to the 400s maybe one day, but other than that, I ain't sitting no lower than that. Mm-mm. It's not worth it. You're there to watch the game.
Yes, to see the field.
So carry on. My bad, Laneisha.
No, you're okay, Sam. My seatmates, I don't know who these jokers were, but they were funny. They were saying all kinds of stuff and yelling things. Ben, Claypool was wide open. What's wrong with you? They were cheering for Ray. Boz comes out. They're yelling, the Wizard of Boz, the Wizard of Boz. And the best part was I have to say, was the halftime Hall of Fame ring ceremony. I mean, I don't think this is going to shock anybody. Troy Polamalu obviously got the biggest cheers. Coach Cower, Sydney Nunn, Bill Nunn's granddaughter, Alan Faneca, Donnie Shell, AR2 was there. So that was a nice ceremony. My other favorite person was Daryl McDaniels, also known as DMC from Run DMC. He was waving that towel like it was going out of style. He had that face going, and he was waving his towel. And then I think in the third or fourth quarter they played It's Tricky. But, when they did that whole catch, no catch thing, people lost it. I saw every kind of hand gesture and word come out of people's mouths. They lost it. So then we decided as a group, the whole stadium got together and we did the wave. So we took our terrible towels, I got my Halloween one, and we did two, things of the wave. And then near the end, I said, I can't watch. I'm like, what's going to happen? So my neighbor next to me, he was like, I'll let you know what happens. And he's like, you got it. So we were all screaming and high-fiving. But one of the best parts was right across from me, some Seahawks fan was taunting one of our Steelers fans. And he looked at him and he said, if you keep that up, he said, when this game is over, he says, I'm going to kick your you-know-what. And this guy kept saying to him, he just kept taunting him. And he says, I'm not joking with you. He said, if you know what's good for you, he said, you better shut up. And I was like, oh. I said, man, if you want to walk out of the stadium alive, I think I would be quiet if I were you. But I did see, that was fun. But I did see Coach Tomlin on the sideline when that whole shenanigans was going on. And he was kind of shaking his head. But I also will tell you, because I think Jordan's going to the game, don't take the Uber on a game day from the airport if you don't have to. Take the taxi. It's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. Also, the Steelers Pro Shop, as much as I like it, if you go to the strip district, there are no strippers in the strip district, okay? No strippers in the strip district. I know. It's like, man, I was hoping there'd be some strippers in the strip district. They've got some of the best food and just local, shops as far as, Steelers gear and all that. You probably know that, Sam. Pamela's Diner, highly recommend it. DeLuca's. So, like I said, if you're looking for just a more...
Eddie Marlowe's.
Yeah.
That's not in the. Yeah, it is. It's outside.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of outside. But
the real Permane brothers.
Yeah, the real Permane brothers. The line was long, way out the door long. But we had a ball. We couldn't have asked for a better time, better seatmates. And when we left, I would have to say that everybody was respectful. Nobody acted up or shoved or pushed anybody. But, just to actually be at the game, like Sim said, is a whole different experience. Now, we did have to do the one guy's job because whenever they get a first down, they yell, Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a first down. So my neighbor looks at me and he goes, this dude didn't do his job. I said, are we going to have to do it for him? So we started doing his job for him and people were laughing at us. And since then he must have heard us. I said, he didn't want to get pink slipped is what's going to happen. So he continued on with his role. And, like I said, just a good time. So if you get a chance to go, I hope you enjoy yourself. Honestly, I'd probably go back to a night game. Something about a night game. Not that a daytime game isn't fun, but you get a different crowd at night because I saw every kind of hat, terrible towel, legging, shirt, you name it, they had it on.
What about when that Renegade came on?
Oh, yeah, because near the end, when we were waiting for that last quarter, we kept saying, play Renegade. So then when they finally played it, the towels were going and everybody's waving their towels and we're singing. That was the best. Too much fun. So
yeah, it's special, guys. If you trust me, if you get a chance, and I know everybody doesn't live in the area, but if it may be worth it, take a trip, man. Laneisha did it. Laneisha's in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It's worth it. It's nothing like seeing your team and just feeling that energy of the stadium and seeing all those fans. And like the pro tip I think I've given you guys here on the show, do not park near the stadium. That little train. Remember, you guys have all watched the Steelers game, and you see the aerial view, and they show the metro. Yeah. So you know what I did years ago? I got smart. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go find one of those stops, maybe about 3 or 4 stops away, and come to find out. I think the one I park at, and Pittsburgh people in here can confirm. I think it's North Avenue, the North Avenue garage, I believe. Guess what? It's free on game day. Yep. Free to ride the train on game day. So you just get on the train and you get off right at the stadium. In the entire train is nothing but Steelers fans. So just remember that if you've never been, do not park near the stadium, because the first time I did it, you know how you are when you ain't never did nothing. I'm all like, oh, I'm going to park right by the stadium and I paid $45. No, don't do that again. Go ride the train. Enjoy yourself into the stadium. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of line getting back on the train, but it's cool. You already around Steelers fans, so definitely do it, guys, if you have the opportunity, and maybe we'll make it happen with Kenyon one day. You know, Kenyon's way out in California, man, but maybe one day we can put something together. Got to do it, brother.
I can't be around people, man. They don't respect. They don't respect air and all that stuff. I'm cool, man. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and what I've learned in my life is that watching games at home with a surround sound is way better than being at the game. You know why? Because when you're at home, you can go to the refrigerator, get your nachos, get your stuff you need to get, put it right next to you, watch the game. You don't have to have people. And look, I feel bad because, see, I want to go to Pittsburgh because Sim's my boy. I want to hang out with me, Sim, and Tony. I want to meet I want to meet everybody. Here's the problem. Leonard's going to be. I'm not watching the Steelers game with Leonard there saying some crazy stuff because I can't take that. I'm not like Sim. I don't have that patience. So it's not going to happen. So, you know, if Sim could come out to LA and we can get the LA thing going, then it's all good because you know, we can get it, you know, you ain't got to worry about the strippers. You know, we're on none of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Come out to LA, we get the P-stars going, you know what's up? You know what I'm saying? Just holler at your boy. Man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, but nah, you know, one day I gotta do that. That's my dude. I gotta do that.
It's quite the experience, man. So if any of you all ever do it, and maybe one day we could do something crazy, man. It could be like a show-inspired trip. Like the bunch of us could just go to the game. That would be dope, you know. So it's endless opportunities, man, for us to get together and do something. But go to the game if you get a chance. It's nothing like it. But Kenyon is right. You know, it is good to go to a game or two during the season, but yeah, it ain't nothing like just being at home. You know, you ain't got to deal with all of that, but a couple times or once or so a year is cool. But all right, man, I think that's going to wrap us up, man. Great show. No, I'm not going to open it up for no questions because we'll be here another 30 minutes. But y'all know, you know, I got to go see the little man before he go to bed. So I want to definitely thank. It's weird for me saying my guests because at this point, you're not guests. You're just extended family. So I definitely want to thank Destiny, Laneisha, Sade, Kenyon, Odessa, and Debbie. You all will be here on the next show. And the other ladies that are in the chat. The real Missy. And there's a few more that I'm not remembering. Get in contact with these ladies and converse outside of YouTube via email or what have you. And like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. They're going to fill you out because they are the crew. They came up with, well, I kind of said I wanted to bring the ladies on. They responded. They were the first ones to respond. So they are the crew. So they're going to have to fill you out. And if y'all all mesh, we would be more than happy to have as many of you all on the show as possible. You know, because that's what we do. We give you guys a platform. But all right, anything that you guys want to say before we sign off? Feel free.
Thank you, Sim. Thanks for having us on again. I know you said we aren't guests, but still appreciate the time and the platform. Thank you so much. Love being a part of Steeler family. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. All the love. And also, like the video, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. You know these things. Do these things.
There you go. Appreciate it. Anybody else?
Thanks for having us on, Tim. We always appreciate you thinking about us and letting us come on and, you know, say what we want to say and, you know, have some fun banter and chatter. Thanks to all the folks in the comments who, you know, said hello to us and cheered us on. I appreciate all of you. And, you know, I always like to see Kenyon. He's my buddy. So when people try to rough me up in the chat, he helps me out. So thank you, Kenyon.
Right. That's my girl right there. Her and Debbie, that's my ride or die. That's my crew, man. I mean, that's my dancers. That's my dancers, like Heavy D. You know what I'm saying?
they don't know about Heavy D.
They don't know about Heavy D.
Waterbed have.
You know what I'm saying? We got our own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's special. I can't wait to get Debbie and Odessa back on. Because for y'all that don't know, some of y'all are new. Debbie is like I don't know how to explain it, man. She, like I said, she's the glue that brings it all together. Her and the ladies it's just special. That first show was very special, and this one is special. But that's why we're gonna keep going, man. We're gonna keep having them on because, again, like I always say, they know their stuff. They know what they're talking about, and it's not it's not me tooting the horn or nothing like that. It's not many platforms that actually give ladies a place to actually speak. Usually these shows just have the token girl, and they don't never let her talk. You know what I mean? And we ain't about that. We ain't about that. And they have been rocking with us forever. So they are a part of this show. So that's what it is. It's the Steel Table is usually myself, Tony, and Kenyon, where it's a round table, but we use steel as a pun. And then we have the ladies of the SteelersNation with their own steel table. But tonight we came together and we did it all as one. So that's what you got. But all right, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate you guys coming through. There should be a pregame show coming up this week. Let me preference that, though. We got birthday party on Saturdays, Halloween on Sunday. I'm going to try my best to get it done Friday night. I don't think I have anything going on Friday night. For you guys who are members of the channel, exclusive content will be coming your way. That will come tomorrow. It's all 22 footage of the last game, and we'll take a look at a few plays. And that's it. Other than that, I will definitely see you guys post-game following the game against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Until next time, thank y'all for tuning in. God bless. Good night. Stay safe. Catch y'all later. Peace.